Good day, dear viewers. You are with an endocrinologist, and today we begin a very important conversation. We will talk about something that at first glance seems entirely beneficial: fruits. More precisely, about fruits that can cause the development or exacerbation of diabetes. I know how it sounds, doctor. How is that possible? Fruits are nature, vitamins, fiber. And you would be right. Most fruits are a real treasure trove of beneficial substances. However, as with any food, the key lies in the quantity, frequency of consumption, and most importantly, the choice of the product itself. Type 2 diabetes is a disease associated with impaired carbohydrate metabolism. The main culprit is glucose in the blood, and it is precisely excessive consumption of products with a high glycemic index that can provoke the development of insulin resistance, the first step towards diabetes. Now imagine a situation: a person eats fruits every day, bananas, grapes, mangoes, dates. Convinced that it is very healthy. But after 5 to 10 years, diabetes. Why? Glycemic index. Why is it important? The glycemic index, GI, is an indicator of how quickly a product raises blood glucose levels. The higher the GI, the sharper the sugar spike. The body responds with an insulin release. If such spikes occur regularly, over time tissues become insensitive to insulin, and insulin resistance develops. Particularly dangerous is the regular consumption of a large amount of fruit on an empty stomach or in the form of juices. In such cases, sugar enters the bloodstream instantly, without any inhibition from fiber or fats. Let's look at some examples. Ripe banana, glycemic index about 60, but depending on ripeness may rise to 70 to 75. Grapes, especially dark varieties, have GI 55 to 60, but contain a lot of glucose and fructose. Mango, exotic fruit with an index around 60. Dates, have a very high GI, from 75 to 100, depending on the variety. What does this mean in practice? If you eat, say, a large banana and a handful of grapes between main meals, your blood sugar can jump by 3 to 4 millimoles per liter in half an hour. Such a roller coaster mode is very exhausting for the pancreas. Fructose, the hidden threat. Many people think that fructose is a better sugar because it does not cause blood glucose spikes. This is partly true. Fructose is metabolized mainly in the liver and does not cause an immediate glycemic effect. But this is the problem. Excess fructose is quickly converted in the liver into fat, which contributes to the development of fatty liver disease and then insulin resistance. And here the chain closes. A person eats healthy fruits but actually triggers a process that gradually blocks their insulin sensitivity. There is especially much fructose in the following fruits: dates, grapes, pears, apples, especially sweet varieties, mango, persimmon. At the same time, it should be emphasized: fructose itself is not bad if it comes in moderate amounts and together. Why? We have reviewed which fruits most affect blood sugar levels and why this can be dangerous. Now let's talk about how to properly and safely consume fruits to minimize health risks, especially for those prone to diabetes or already struggling with metabolic disorders. Basic rules for safe fruit consumption. Consider meal timing. The best time to eat fruits is after or during a main meal. Why? Because proteins, fats, and fiber in other foods slow down sugar absorption from fruits. This helps avoid sharp glucose spikes. Eating fruits on an empty stomach or as juices is a risk for blood sugar levels. Control portions. Even the healthiest fruit in excess can cause problems. For someone at risk of diabetes, a single serving should not exceed 150 to 200 g, approximately 1 medium banana, or 1 cup of grapes, or 2 medium apples. Avoid eating several types of fruits at once. Choose fruits with low or medium glycemic index. These include berries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, cherries, grapefruit, green, sour, apples. Kiwi. Apricots. These fruits are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and have a moderate effect on blood sugar. Avoid juices and fruit purees. Prefer whole fruits rather than processed forms. Fruit juices, purees, and compotes contain a high concentration of sugars without fiber, which speeds absorption and causes sugar spikes. Combine fruits with proteins and healthy fats. Add nuts, seeds, yogurt, or cheese to fruits. This slows sugar absorption and stabilizes glucose levels. For example, an apple with almonds or berries with natural yogurt is a great snack option. Pay attention to your individual reactions. Every body is unique. It is recommended to monitor your blood sugar after eating certain fruits. This can be done using a glucometer if available. This way you will understand which fruits suit you and which to limit. Special considerations for people with diabetes or prediabetes. If you already have a diagnosis or elevated blood glucose, consult a doctor or dietitian. Usually recommended. Limit high GI fruits. Prefer berries and sour fruits. Control total daily carbohydrate intake. Eat fruits only as part of a balanced meal. General advice for maintaining healthy metabolism. Regular physical activity helps control blood sugar and increases insulin sensitivity. Drink enough water, it supports metabolic processes. Avoid excessive consumption of fast carbohydrates from other sources, sweets, pastries, sugary drinks. Pay attention to fruit quality, better to choose seasonal, organic, without added sugars or preservatives. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that fruits are a powerful source of vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber necessary for our health. However, improper consumption, excess, and choosing fruits with a high glycemic index can lead to serious metabolic disturbances and diabetes development. It is important to approach your nutrition consciously, controlling the quantity and quality of consumed fruits, especially. The greatest impact on blood glucose levels is from fruits with a high content of simple sugars and low fiber. Simply put, those that are quickly absorbed and instantly cause a sugar rise. Such fruits create a high glycemic load, especially if consumed in large quantities or separately from main meals. Let's go through specific examples and see what the danger of each is. Grapes. One of the sweetest fruits. In 100 g of grapes, up to 17 g of carbohydrates, most of which are glucose and fructose. Due to the lack of fiber, especially in peeled form, without skin, grapes are almost instantly absorbed. Glycemic index, 55 to 60. Even in people without diabetes, drowsiness or increased appetite may occur after a large portion. The danger is precisely in quantity. A handful of grapes once a week, no problem. But 200 to 300 g daily, a stable load on the pancreas, even if your sugar is normal. Bananas. The riper the banana, the higher its glycemic index. A slightly green banana has GI around 45, but a fully ripe one, up to 70. One medium banana contains 25 to 30 g of carbohydrates. If you add a cup of coffee with milk or yogurt, you get a carbohydrate load that will provoke a sharp sugar rise. In people with impaired carbohydrate metabolism, this can cause significant glucose fluctuations, and an early feeling of hunger afterward. Dates. Despite being natural, dates are a real sugar bomb. One date can contain up to 16 g of carbohydrates, and several pieces, already a dessert with a sugar load comparable to a cake. Glycemic index, up to 100, like white bread. Frequent consumption is a serious risk for insulin resistance development. Especially dangerous when dates are perceived as healthy sweets for several snacks a day. They can be eaten rarely and combined with protein or fats, but not daily or by handfuls. Mango. Mango is not just a tasty tropical fruit but also a source of fructose. In 100 g. About 14 g of carbohydrates, and a medium-ripe mango, already 200 to 250 g of pure pulp. Glycemic index, about 60. Especially dangerous for people with prediabetes if consumed as the main dessert. Even with normal metabolism, mango can easily cause fatigue, hunger, or brain fog due to glucose fluctuations. Pineapple. Another fruit with medium-high glycemic index, about 66. Its juice is almost pure fructose without fiber. In a glass of juice, over 20 g of sugar. At the same time, pineapple is often added to salads or eaten in large quantities after meat, which additionally complicates digestion. Better to consume it fresh, in small quantities, and definitely after main meals, not on an empty stomach. Sweet varieties of apples and pears. Many consider apples a universal healthy snack. But remember that some varieties, especially sweet, Gala, Red Delicious, Fuji, can contain up to 19 g of sugar per 100 g. Most of this is fructose. Eating 2 to 3 such apples per day gives the body 40 to 50 g of simple sugars, more than many pastries. Combined with acetylene.